Hey guys, I was just on Reddit, and somebody was asking, can we edit models? Or talking to him, but specifically, someone said, if I want to take Jaina, daughter of the sea, and make her walk on foot, how hard would it be? So I thought, why don't we do that? Um, I'm just gonna do what I used to do on non-reforged models, and I'm pretty sure it's just gonna work. I don't think the process should be any different. I haven't done it before, so I mean, it might not work, but well, I guess one of the problems, actually, is that it is a skin and not a hero, and so I am not able to pull it as a unit. So typically what I would do in this case is I just double-click Jaina over here, and then we wait for the laboriously long loading process, but eventually it loads Jaina, and then we have Jaina to actually modify in the visual display. As you see here, it did, although the program is confused about my current resolution because I actually changed it, downscaled it to try to make the video more easily. So we can save this file, right? And we can save this as standard HD Jaina. We're going to save that to my folder here. And then I'm actually going to close my program and relaunch it because of a bug pertaining to the resolution. If you change your screen resolution, you can sometimes confuse the program, which happened in this case. So we're going to relaunch it, but more importantly, we need to go into the Reforged World Editor, and we need to actually get Jaina, Daughter of the Sea here as a file path. We need to know the file path of Jaina, Daughter of the Sea, and I don't actually know. I think I had one of those placed here on the map, but I don't see it. So let's get another one. Or this is the fun part, right? There's nothing constraining which hero has the skin, so I guess you could actually put any hero on the skin, but then again, it won't tell me the file path, will it? So let's actually go just get the file path, and to do that, we just have to go to my obnoxiously arcane folder path here to Reforged Beta. Okay, great. So the key, of course, is we're just going to go to Units, Human, Jaina C. And we want to get Jaina C here. Units, Human, Jaina C, Jaina C. Once we know that that's the file path that we need, this should be relatively simple. We just go in here and open internal model. Really, index out of bounds. Really, that doesn't work anymore? That's just ridiculous. Okay, so time for plan B. Just click this HD folder over here. I was going to enter the path, but actually you can just enter the this thing, which is basically just a data browser, and brings us to Jaina C. There we go. That's what we needed, Jaina C right here. I'm not entirely sure what we're going to do about the face effects. We'll probably just leave those. Yeah, I'll probably just leave those. We'll probably just do nothing about the face effects because I know very little about them to this point. But so this is Jaina C. So we can save this to our folder as Jaina C. But the most important thing now is we want to actually take Jaina C off of the horse and put her on the ground, not on a horse. So the first question is, did they do our work for us? Sometimes in files like this, you might actually find that the horse and the character are actually already separated. It's not all the time the case. It looks like it's not the case. Oh, it might be the case actually. So that's the horse, okay. That's the staff. That's the horse. That's Jaina. That's Jaina. That's Jaina. Let's see. That's another copy of the staff. So there's about 3 copies of the model inside of every model. To handle all of the different levels of detail. It used to be that those things were handled differently, and that there was like one model file, and that the low resolution versions of the model, the lower levels of detail in Warcraft 3, were almost never used by anybody in the modding community. Now when you open the file, they're kind of there in your face. So my solution is to just go ahead and use them. Basically, I'll just assume that we'll just go ahead and use them. So the main fundamental issue that we're going to have doing this is actually that I didn't really set up my software to do this right yet. I was kind of imagining that I'll just do what I did in the past. I've actually made in the past a video as a joke back on 131, probably 2 or 3 months ago, where I took Jaina and put Jaina on an Archmage horse. And this was just the standard low resolution, you know, the Jaina that we've had for 15 years, and the Archmage horse we've had for 15 years. Put on the horse, had it done in about 5 minutes, and then I played a ladder game with that hacked into my game. Very, very doable. But the problem that we have here is that we need to reassign the way in which this character is linked. And I did not fix the reassignments made by my model importing mechanism. So it's not likely to work correctly, even if I were to use it right now. So what we can do instead, we'll start by, we're just going to delete the horse. We'll begin the process, and then we will probably have to go into the code and fix it. I apologize, but that is just because I did not think of that before I started this. So here's the horse. We're going to delete the horse. And now we're going to have Jaina see no horse. Of course, it takes a little bit of time to delete the horse because, for whatever reason, this version of my software is just incredibly slow. Jaina see no horse. So we have that. We know what we want to do. We want to import it onto, like, import its geometry onto the other Jaina and use the animations of the other Jaina. The only reason that would actually be particularly difficult is simply that we have not, to this point, aligned the animations. Maybe we could. Yeah, maybe we don't need to make a code change. So I will at some point be making a code change to this. It was meant to be easier than it's going to be right now, but I think we can get away without a code change, actually. And here's the trick, okay? This model exists with its nodes all rigged together. The primary question that I would first ask is, will this model work? Here's the question. Will this model work if I delete the horse nodes? Essentially, the code that handles the binding between the vertices and the animation is entirely different in the reforged model than the other version of my code that handles those bindings normally. So I particularly fixed the reassign matrix function that I used on the head of the grunt-headed sheep, but I have not fixed substantial other portions of my code. So for example, if we use the import utility and we rebind these vertices to a new set of bones from the other model, the rebinding is likely to fail because I did not code it correctly. But what we can still do, just now in the moment, because we want to have a result, is that we can leave the bindings. If we can manage to get rid of the horse while still having her bound to her existing mesh, the question is any part of Jaina currently bound to the horse? And if we delete the horse, will those bindings be cleared away or will they crash my software? Having not done it before and kind of forgetting the code from yesterday, I'm not exactly sure, so I figure we're going to find out. So the weapon is fine and doesn't matter. That's her staff. The mount spine is likely to be part of the problems. This is blah, blah, blah mount. Blah, blah, blah mount. Mount arm, mount head. So this is all the mount, and it would seem to be the case that this is a candidate for getting something to get rid of. Then we have the mount pelvis, and then we have Jaina, and then we have Jaina here. So this seems really promising to me that I think I could just select basically the animation data of the mount and nuke it with the delete key. Now this might crash my software. I don't really know, but we're going to try saving this model, Jaina no C, no horse, and HA for no horse animations. I'm going to save that, and I'm just kind of curious, does it immediately blow up? If it doesn't, and it doesn't look like it did, the next test that I want to do is to actually put this in the game and see if the model is valid or if I have destroyed it through this modification. If it is valid, we should be able to do a transfer of the animations from the other model into this model and thereby avoid rebinding the binding of vertices being attached to nodes, and rather instead keep those bindings, vertices to nodes, which are the thing that my code is currently not suited for changing in the way that I'm used to, and then instead just change how the nodes move and perhaps where they are. So to answer that question, let's go to campaign to a hero. We'll try to see if we can actually get a Jaina hero to use this new model. Now obviously the model is not going to look good. We're just interested in whether it loads. So let's see, Jaina, no horse, C thing, great, custom unit, let's see if it loads. It did load, so this is a really good sign, because now we have this character, but what we want to do, fundamentally, is to take this character and import the animations of the other Jaina onto this character while keeping the bindings between its vertices and its nodes because the manipulation of those bindings is not finished in my code. So, seeing that this thing all still works, let's go back and just take a second and compare this model with its counterpart, the original Jaina, right? Not Jaina C, standard Jaina. This one. This is going to be the source of our animations, right? But it has a number of problems. It also looks like the staff is in the other hand. I don't know why that would be. Is Jaina left-handed or is Jaina right-handed? One moment, I'm just curious. Is Jaina actually ambidextrous? Oh no, she's not ambidextrous. She's clearly right-handed, which would seem to imply that the staff in the left hand over here is a mistake. So I'm curious if I go to the animation nodes for this one, like basically we turn on these nodes. Does the staff float over there? If I select this, it's over here, now it's over there. They did. They actually put it in her left hand and then retroactively changed it to her right hand. Which is very interesting. Very, very interesting thing for them to do. So we're going to have a little bit of work for ourselves in the other model because we want the other model to match this pose. It does not currently. So we look at Jaina C here, and presumably it's maybe based somewhat upon a similar structure, but it's going to need a bit of work. So we load that. And so basically what I'm proposing, and I guess what we can initially investigate if it's even possible, is to say, can I do an import from the local workspace and import the other Jaina's animations into this Jaina? So in order for this to work, we'll do that import, and then we'll try to get rid of the pre-existing animations. And this makes a couple of assumptions that might be wrong for Reforged models, that they don't have other animations just hanging about. There are a couple interesting design choices in how these things were put together, so we'll see where this goes. Everything is running really slowly in this version of my program, though, so we have to wait for the code to just kind of execute while we wait for this import dialog to pop up. Which probably means if I was going to fix the animations of the current model, I should have done it before the import, but we'll just we'll try our luck on this one. So we're going to try to import from the other model, and one of the questions is going to be, are the two structures similar? Are they animated to a really similar node structure? Or are they animated to a really different node structure? I don't have experience with these reforged models other than the grunt-headed sheep yesterday, so I don't really know what to expect, and it's gonna be interesting to find out. But unless it crashed, which I assume it probably did not, and it did not, we should at some point soon be receiving our pop-up. It's just doing a boatload of processing. You can see this is one of the reasons that people would probably struggle with using this software in its current version. It's just a little bit slow. I suppose it would be great if I had some kind of intermission or entertainment right now, but I haven't really set that up for you, so we're just waiting. I don't really know how long we're going to wait. I'm hoping it's not going to be very long. If it is too long, I might just go to sleep. It is kind of that time. So, you know, you get what you expect. Eventually, there'll be a pop-up. Or maybe not. Maybe this one specific model is a case that drives my code into an insane bottleneck chasing its own tail, and it just doesn't work. But if that happens, oh, there it goes, of course. Right when I said that, this thing popped up. That's really bad. We really need to do something about that. Ooh, this is nuts. What is that doing? Don't do whatever that's doing. All right. So needless to say, we don't actually want the mesh of the other Jaina. And apparently this Jaina has a huge number of animations. This is probably why we had so much lag. I don't know if we want all of these, but why not? You know, let's just take them. We'll take what you can get. So bone turret, we'll link to bone turret. Spine 2, spine 3. These seem to have somewhat similar names. Now it looks like our current one doesn't have spine 3. That's a pretty bad sign. So just keep trying. Neck bind HD anim bind joint. Jaw bind joint. So we want motion from all, actually. Let's go ahead and mash go on that, which should do a large amount of similar linking. Hand left. But there are some things that are missing, so we might be truncating animations a little bit here. They are not the same, I find. Okay, bone hand, finger, finger. That's a lot of fingers. This used to be a lot easier when there was just 3 arms, 3 legs, and I mean 2 arms with 3 bones, 2 legs with 3 bones, a head and a chest and a root, and that's pretty much every model in SD Warcraft 3. So this process works great for those. For these, it's a bit more questionable. So it seems like the skirt thing doesn't line up. Doesn't seem to line up at all. In that case, we're going to have to manually line it up, and we're going to hope for the best. And I don't know if we're going to get the best. So let's see where we end up here. Looks like the numbers are similar. They are kind of similar. Skirt A3, skirt 3, you know. That was B. This is R skirt. This is R skirt A01, R skirt A02, R skirt A03, B01. So this is obviously going to affect whether our animations merge correctly, whether we create the correct associations. And I have the human do it in the case that it fails, because it just needs to be done by a human in the case that it fails. Now there do seem to be, you know, there's like additional skirt things in the one model that aren't in the other model. Apparently this one has the extra special things that they don't both have. A lot of these auto-linked themselves up. So we're now looking for the pauldron. It looks like the left pauldron and the right pauldron are different here. These are named right pauldron 01 and right pauldron 02, which is concerning to say the least. Yeah, I don't really know. Sometimes you can use this tab to try to get a feeling for, if I unmaximize, you can try to get a feeling for if we could find right pauldron 2, is that actually the left pauldron? Because obviously you would want to know that. It's happened before that right pauldron 2 is actually the left one. Doesn't look like that's the case here. We have right shoulder. I guess there is not a fancy left pauldron. So we can link right pauldron into right pauldron 1. We can actually link it into 1 and 2, although usually that's a bad idea. I don't think we should do that. But it looks like that's just what we're going to have to settle for there. I don't think there's anything I can import into right pauldron 2 that'll be correctly animated. It also looks like weapon crystal doesn't have an equivalent. So this is an interesting test, and I don't know for sure that it's going to work how we intend, but it's something to try. Oh, that's interesting. I also didn't know that Hero Glow was a popcorn effects emitter, but apparently it is, so there you go. Now we've got that. We're learning things by the second, which usually means it won't work the first time, but never hurts to find out. And then we get over here, and you can see I chose to import a large number of additional little node things down here that we can't really see because this view is bugged and doesn't let me expand it, which is really pretty unacceptable. Hopefully that'll get fixed later, but I'll have to be the one to fix it. So we're going to save this with the finish command. Actually, not yet. Let's not finish yet. Let's not do that. There's one other thing that we can do, which if we do this, basically these things need to use the visibility data of the original Jaina. In fact, ideally, all of it would do that. So Jaina C needs to use Jaina not C main diffuse. And I don't know which one to use, so we're just going to use the first one. Oh, it looks like these are always visible, but this one's not. Okay. So that fixes that visibility problem. Then we're going to also try to fix we have team color, we have joint main. These are just always visible. It might be all right. Well, no. This should use a diffuse layer again. Yeah, sure, we'll use that one. No, that's the wrong one. Sorry, actually, I was thinking of the lower one. So I'm sure for you, this might be confusing. You might ask yourself, what am I doing? I'm trying to specify that during Jaina's death animation, she would disappear, or whatever it is she's supposed to do. Because usually those disappearances are handled by visibility information, and I'm telling it when I combine the models, what do I combine with what else? Now, I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to get rid of all of her old bindings because we're importing the new bindings, which points out that I should actually fix the new bindings. So HD anim bind joint here on head, just going to go on that. Bone hand left, we should be able to find. These aren't automatic, unfortunately, which is actually really stupid and bad. I should make this automatic. But currently we just have to settle for clicking it. So we're doing those hand left, but we actually went hand right. And chest, there should theoretically be bone underscore chest. Yep, bone underscore chest. Foot left, we're going to actually link to foot underscore left if we can find it. Bone leg left, there we go, that's what we wanted, bone leg right. Should be down here a ways also, bone leg right. Weapon, weapon bind joint, origin is no parent, overhead is no parent. A lot of these other ones are no parent. I don't know if we need the collision shapes, but they're apparently also no parent, so that should be reasonable. I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this and throw it in Paint, and I'll explain to you why in a second. We're just going to chuck that into Paint right there. Okay, great. Having done that, now we might be ready to click Finish. Yeah, I think so. So we'll bring this back to where I full screen it, which gives me Finish down here. It's a really silly process. It should just always be showing anyway. Then it's going to perform the splicing between the files, trying to fit them together, but a couple things wrong. So I'm going to immediately save, okay, standard HD Jaina. This is not actually HD Jaina. This is Jaina C, both animations, needs fix, right? So it's definitely not going to immediately work. It's going to need some effort here. But I was going to try to use my edit delete model components functionality to actually delete the things that are not in our screenshot with regards to nodes. The reason being is that I want the animations to match the dismounted Jaina as accurately as possible. So we should be able to do that, but that's going to take some time to give us that pop-up again. We're just waiting for whatever that new code delay I introduced is. We're just waiting for that. So in the meantime, this is going to be our list over here that we're going to be working off of, and we just want to delete everything that's not on this list. Shouldn't be that difficult. We just have to wait for that pop-up to start. Now the pop-up's going to be actually particularly and acutely slow. Oh, okay, well, it showed up. I'm wrong. I was going to say because the animations as they were started, I think, at attack 1. So we're going to actually get rid of all the animations until the ones that we want. And this is so that, what's the first animation? All right, I need to actually open another file here. I want to know on Jaina C, what is her last animation? Which ones are Jaina C and which ones are not? I didn't write that down, so now I'm actually trying to load that list. So we're just going to go back to the View tab here, just briefly, and we're going to see that it ends on walk, at stand channel, then walk. So if I actually file close this one to reload the other, we can go back to our work that we were doing. That reloaded the wrong one. It's actually much better if we don't have the wrong one loaded. There are a few reasons why you want it to keep it on whichever thing launched the import dialog when you click finish. I forget why, but that's just how that is. Great. So this stand is the first new animation that we brought in. So we want to uncheck everything before that. what I'm doing here, this is a little bit of a hack process on my tool, but basically I'm importing it into itself, or importing into empty model actually, which gives me the ability to, like, when I turn off the importing of something, what it actually does is it removes it from the model, but it removes it cleanly. It's a hack invented in this tool very shortly after its invention. And I've just continued to use it for years because it was effective for me. As a way of deleting things in their entirety, because the importer understood if you don't import something, then it should not be referenced anywhere. So I need to delete all the attachments up to head ref and all the sounds up to sound djan. So all of these up to head ref, and then all of, it looks like Blizz particle. It's really sorted strangely. That's interesting. Oh yeah, no Blizz particles. Those are just all from the other model. Hero glow, sure, we could get the hero glow, I guess. These up to djan we're gonna get rid of. These we're gonna get rid of up to whatever's in here, so that would be KGS torso. Looks like there are 2 of those. Hopefully we want the one that is followed by only one set of things. Sorry. Followed by only one set of things. I don't even know why they have these fancy collision shapes. If it were up to me, I would probably not include that in the game. It's like they're planning something. All right, and then we have 2 cameras. Obviously, we only want 1 camera. So we fix that, and that ought to get us closer, we're not there yet, to the product that we're looking for. We'll know if this functions because when it finishes, it should launch a second window pop up here that should appear. Yes, an additional model that is given a new name that is the result of the process that we just executed. So basically, what we have now is an interesting thing, which is basically Jaina, but with the other Jaina down there on the ground, and she needs to be moved. So let's grab her geometrically and try to lower her to the ground. But there are a few of these attachments that we brought in that we actually want to just leave where they are. I think that would probably apply to this. Would probably apply to whatever this is. I think that might be her head, but it doesn't look like her head because it's in the wrong place. So we're gonna grab this and we're gonna bring her down to be standing on the ground, more or less. You can tell she's about the right height for that to be her head. Now we have the particularly difficult part of this, which is that we really want her to line up with this one, but that's not so easy to do, right? She needs to basically be lined up with this same pose, but posing is difficult. So the staff is obvious. Moving the staff is an obvious change, but a lot of the hands and these other things are not so straightforward. So let's begin with the staff. As far as the staff is concerned, we should be able to just grab that, and then I think it looks like in the other model it was rotated. So we'll just jump models again for a second here. Yeah, it's rotated outward a little bit, and it's in her hand at kind of a line over there. So it's rotated a little outward. It's in her other hand. It's kind of rotated a little bit like that. So we can pretty much put that there, probably more or less in her hand. And this may or may not end up how we want. The perspective view down there is broken, so if you want to actually see it, just go to this view. It's definitely one way to solve it. But her legs are still posed wrong, and I accidentally pushed save, which is just stupid. Speaking of that, let's make a backup. Let's actually name it Needs Fix 2. So we now have our backup model. Having moved the staff, I would say maybe we could turn it off so that we no longer see it. So it's just not in our way. So we do that. That turns off the staff. Now, if you actually click this T button, this should do basically T-pose modifications that will actually move the position of her body without damaging the structure. So, hopefully, this would mean that you could, for example, grab her legs and rotate her legs. Unfortunately, it does not work because it was built for the previous bindings between the nodes and the vertices, and I forgot about that. So we're going to have to do this the Janko way, that is much more jank and tends me towards believing that I should fix the software. But basically, we're just going to grab her legs there, and we're just going to rotate them as best as we can. And obviously, that's maybe a little unfortunate that we're going to do that, but I think that's what we're just going to do. So we're going to try to do that. Now, I'm sure the people who made this thing probably had a better handle on what was going on. They had a better software that they used to do this, because you'll see when I do this, there is some abhorrent levels of stretching that is just not how it should be in a couple of ways. So obviously that's, I mean, you know, what I'm doing is very doable, but it does not necessarily look the best. I figure it's an interesting start to get us started. So we'll do something like that. It's an interesting start to get us started. Maybe we'll call it here for this video, and I'll advise you to use the software again in a few weeks once I fix it. But we're going to see what's the best we can get just right here and now with the current software, which maybe I'm sure I'll be badgered into publishing very, very soon, even though it is obviously deficient in several manners. So you can see we're trying to get her legs to a standing position, because otherwise the animations will not work correctly. That's really the gist of what's happening here. And they're still not really the same. So like if you look at this model, I think her legs are probably straight, just a guess. Yeah, they're very straight, very, very straight, which means that the animations expect them to be straight, right? That if she then bends her legs, she would bend them doubly if they're already bent in the geometry of this one. So it stands to reason that the other thing that we would like to do is to actually go in here and unbend the legs, and that of course is difficult. So you just have to keep going at it, right, until you get it. And just go in here, get some of this leg mesh, and we just try to, you know, sort of nicely finagle it. We can see that I actually missed a point, so you can actually undo that with a Control-Z, and you can go back and you can actually grab the point. And then this doesn't obviously look very good, so if I can get her legs to get to a point of being, you know, more like straightened out, then we're going to have to sort of fix them back into, you know, where they should have been to begin with. This is like her foot. I meant to do a shift select there. So you kind of try to get her foot right, and you sort of bend that out to maybe look a little bit more like the legs of the other Jaina, if possible. But we still have some fundamental clash here that this looks like this is a rotated way how it shouldn't be, right? I mean, this, to me, this looks like this was meant to be like that, you know, maybe. And I'm doing this off of two-dimensional dots. I don't even know if it's remotely looking good in the result. But so once you have, you know, you've kind of got the legs straightened out, obviously you want to try to put them back as much as possible to just try to get her to end up close to the pose of the other Jaina, which, you know, we could develop better software for posing things in the future, you know, if that's really what we're going to spend our time doing. But let's see, yeah, basically you just want some of this to not look super bad, and it kind of looks like it's going to start looking super bad pretty soon. That's her hand. I don't want to move that. All right. Yeah. So let me just try to like flatten that out to not look broken. I'm pretty sure that's going to look kind of broken, but it might kind of work. So let's try it. Let's see if it remotely works. And if it does, we might just call it a success for this video, illustrating that what I'm attempting to do is at least remotely conceivable, and maybe you could do it better as the software improves. So for that, let's just go to this Jaina again. We'll go to this one, who is still named needs fixed, even though I don't actually know if it needs to be fixed. Or it might be entirely broken. It might explode. No, it didn't really explode. So let's, you know, I mean, she kind of looks maybe how you would want, but let's actually try it in the game. It's a little bit hard to tell just from here. The editor's previewing obviously is really jerky and just not exactly how you'd want. I don't know if the game will actually run at this low resolution, but I know how to find out. So let's find out. You can see we have certainly attempted the effort. We have the technology to make the attempt. Okay, let's see. You know, with these grainy pixelated version, it might look perfect. Isn't that great? Where'd I stick her? Oh, she's over here.
I'm trying to think here.
Oh, she's trying to think here. See, there you go. Look at it's Jaina. It's Jaina of the Sea. See that? It's Jaina of the Sea. She looks so legit. And she's animated. Just don't look at her feet. Don't look at her feet. See? It's Jaina of the Sea. Yeah, let's try a spell animation. You think that's gonna work? My butt. Oh, it actually did work. Is that what this one looks like? Is this am I a wizard who does animation transfer? Oh, look at that! I'm an animation transfer wizard. See? I have Jaina of the Sea. Now, if I were like these other noggin foggers, I'd probably go upload that to the Hive and be like, look guys, here's Jaina of the Sea. But you know, if you zoom in, it kind of looks terrible. So, oh, thanks, priest. You're good. You're a good bro there. You're gonna keep Jaina of the Sea alive a lot longer than I was. Also, why is your hero glow hard-coded gray? That's very questionable. But you know, I don't even know why that is. Probably it's in the popcorn effects node, and if you got the other one, it would probably fix it.
That's curious.
There's some stuff about that.
I can help.
That's interesting. Anyway,
sounds good.
Look at that, Jaina of the Sea as a hero that you have, whose legs look like I butchered them a little bit, but you know, someday you'll be able to fix it when there's a 3D preview. All right, great. Look at that. Jaina of the Sea. If you play the game on really low resolution, it looks great. And you know what? If you zoom into about here, it still looks pretty good.
Check it out.
Can we get her to level up? Do we have anything to level up? What do we? I don't want to level up.
I'll check it out.
These ghouls are not going to level her up. All right, let's try it anyway.
Sounds good.
Yeah, let's try it. Go beat these ghouls. Get some experience.
Sounds good.
Become Jaina of the Great Sea.
I hate resorting to violence.
Look at that. See, she like does the stuff with her hand, like a little spell animation. Is that what the other Jaina does? It's coming out of her face. Wait a second. Is that what Jaina's supposed to look like?
What's the plan?
Anasterian Sunstrider, you scrub. Get out.
It shall be done.
I can help.
Yeah, okay. It comes out of her face
You
too.
asked, what's the plan?
Okay, no regrets.
Sounds good.
Fire out of the face.
Sounds interesting.
Where are they even
I'll take
going?
care of it.
Well, we want
Sounds
Jaina of the Sea to get all the experience, so
thinking.
let's just let her
I
do that.
hate resorting to violence.
And I think the portrait's wrong, but obviously you can actually, there are a huge number of tools in the Warcraft 3 community to fix cameras. So, oh, that's right, they all don't work on this model. Well, anyway, I can fix my tool just in time. 4 hit points. Do you see that? I got that just in time. Still didn't get enough experience to get a level. I was just kind of curious if the other spells looked good. I don't even know if the other spells use a different animation. But let's try a one-time reset of the game. We're going to try summoning a water elemental, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, let's see. Here, Jaina of the Sea. Summon me a water elemental.
I'll take care of it.
She'll take care of it.
That's curious.
That's curious. She's going to take care of it. All right, let's see. Okay, that was, I think that was the same spell animation, but whatever. It still played. Fundamentally, it still played. She is animated. This is like in 2004 when someone figured out how to dismount undead Arthas off the horse, and everyone thought that they were basically Jesus because it's like no one else knew how to do that. See, I just made Jaina of the Sea dismounted. I'm like, I don't know.
Curious.
I shouldn't make. It's not a religious reference. It's just fun. All right, I'm having a good time. That's what I'm saying. All right, yeah. So there you go. This has been my tutorial about how to make Jaina of the Sea, as other than this big zigzag Z in her cape, which you know what we do about zigzag Z's in a cape, right? You just go into this viewer, you find the zigzag cape, and you say, "Cape, I don't want you to zigzag anymore," and then you fix it. Where is the zigzag cape actually? This thing? But there's like a whole bunch of repeats. There's like the zigzag cape of every single detail level, which is just bad. So you have to edit all of them at once. That way you're a professional and you have all the zigzag capes, like a zigzag cape wizard. Okay, is this the zigzag cape? I can't even tell. Which part of the cape is the zigzag? Let's go over here where I can zoom in. That one does not apply. Okay. Also, if you hit the space bar in perspective, it becomes full screen and starts working again. Don't ask me why. I don't want to talk about it. That's a really bad code bug. Okay, so this is the zigzag cape right here. and it is on the right hand side as she faces me in the front view. So it's definitely this. It's like, is it this? Is that it? Is that the zigzag cape? I don't know. I'll Control Z it and then we'll know. That is the zigzag cape. Okay. So if you wanted to fix the zigzag cape to be really, really professional or whatever, you would just take this, and however much of this is even the same thing. Let's make sure we're not editing the back. I don't think we need to edit the back. I think we just need to edit the front. Just this thing right here. Yeah, is it bad on the other side? It is like not as bad on the other side. I don't know why. I guess you need to just like make it not. How do I make this not zigzag? This is really hard when you can't see the texture. I really need to add previewing. You know, Taylor Moise, he has previewing. Why don't I? I've been doing this for years. All right, let's see. I'm getting the vibe that this should probably be up there or something like that, and like a little bit less zigzag and a little bit more straight. I don't know. What do you think? Does that make that not a zigzag cape anymore? Maybe. No, it's. I think it's still a zigzag cape. Yeah, it's still a zigzag cape. I don't quite fully grasp why, but it is what it is. Maybe this is like a secondary portion of the cape. What am I editing? This is not the cape at all. This is all the things that are not cape. Okay. Maybe this is a secondary replica of the cape. You know, sometimes there's two copies of some of these things. That is also the back. You know, sometimes doing it right requires much precision, and maybe we don't care. Okay, you see this zigzag in the cape? Let's just make it not zigzag. Here you go. Do I want that edit? Is that even a good edit? I can't even tell. Where's her leg? Her leg is still behind that. How does that look over here? It's like a little bit better. But fundamentally, there's something over there that I don't see over here. It's like this. Is it this? What is this? No, it is. Whatever that is, that's not it. Okay. Oh, yeah, it would be over here. Sorry, I was thinking of the front when I looked at the side. No, it would be like this thing, right? Is this the zigzag of the cape? What am I editing? No, that's still behind. That's still the behind portion. So it's up in this cluster. It's like this thing getting super zigzagged, and we just want it to be straight. It's something like that. That might have been it. Yeah, that's the zigzag in the cape right there. Boom. All right. A lot of other stuff still wrong, but I think that's the cape zigzag. So we're going to call this NZ for no zigzag, and then we'll call it a day. So you just got to do it exactly right. Also, I think we wanted to have hero color glow instead of gray glow. Whoever thought of gray glow? That's really odd. Like, really odd. So let me just save this as an MDL file, which I like doing. It lets me edit it in Notepad. What a brilliant invention. Am I right? And then we can go to the models folder, and we can go to blah, 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 NZMDL. And we can actually scroll through the code of the model file, giving us full control of everything, and find any location that refers to a glow that is gray. And we find that there is not one, which I am skeptical of, again. So let's actually check standard HD Jaina, who has it right, and try to get it off of standard HD Jaina. Somewhere in this model, there is hero glow, and we are going to replicate it. So we're going to save it as MDL, and we're going to read it, and we're going to copy it over. Models, standard HD Jaina. Anything called hero glow in this file? Oh, my Control F dialog is like not here. Okay. Search. Is there like a reset search dialog? Because it's clearly popping up off screen, and that's just not good. It's like we want glow. This is tremendously lagging. All right. Now, if I search for this, here you go, popcorn effects emitter hero glow. Okay, always on, shared effects, hero glow, hero glow. So the question is, what is different about the one in Jaina C? So, hero. This is the one in Jaina C. It declares itself as always off. Shared effects, hero glow. So you would think that they were the same. But Jaina of the C somehow knows to load a gray one, which is interesting. Always on, dissipate. There must be, in one of these settings, something that causes it to be gray. Hero glow, stability, always on. Think. You guys can post in the comments. Do you know why the hero glow is gray? I don't know. I don't know that. And it looks like if I try to fix it, it's going to take a substantial amount of time. And I don't know why. It's really interesting. Yeah, I really don't know why. It would seem to be the case that this shared access to this guy here is somehow affecting it. So Jaina of the C always loads gray hero glow. I'm sure it's not an accident that she has gray hero glow, right? I mean, there must be some reason that does that. But let's check and see if the Z thing is fixed. That's gonna be fun to have that fixed. So you can see here she's got a Z swisheroo in her cloak. We tried to make the next one. I forget if I imported this yet. No, I don't think I did. So let's just file import Jaina. Let's see, Jaina NZ. Yep. Okay. Gonna save the map. I always save after I import, even though it's not necessary anymore. I'm just doing it out of habit. It's not actually a good idea anymore. Probably shouldn't do that, but you know what? I did. All right. Jaina C, both animations, NZ should hopefully have no zigzag or less zigzag in her. Yeah, see, look at that. Look at that. She's got like 0 zigzag. Now you just have the problem that it intersects her leg and looks bad. But you know what? We did it. We did it, guys. Anyway, we did it. She's off the horse. That's how you do it. Okay, it's definitely doable. That's pretty much how you do it. So. Yeah, best of luck. You can totally do that. I just did that. I'll probably post my code so you can use it, because if you don't use it, I don't know how you do that. So good job. Good luck.